Hi everybody, this is Carrick with ACG. What are we doing today? Well, we're going to look inside of the Arc and Transformers Devastation, and we're going to cover the various things you can do, which includes things like changing and synthesizing weapons, doing your tech upgrades, checking your status, and selling and buying new items. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look into the Synthesize. I want to cover a couple things. First of all, it's really important to remember that duplicate names don't seem to make any effect. If you have two Ionizer swords, what only matters is what's on the right. The rank, the skills and how many you have and what they are, and of course the level. Can equip is also very important because you can make a mistake if you want to basically upgrade something. You can make a mistake, and if you're not paying attention to that, you can upgrade a weapon that, for example, only 2 or 3 people can use. For example, the light hammer, where only Grimlock in his robot form and Optimus Prime in his robot form can use. That's actually a big deal. You want to be very careful of that. So when I did a battle just now, I ended up getting an S on the hardest difficulty in a challenge room. And what that does is everything that is not equipped was new. Okay, so all these were dropped new. And anything that doesn't say equipped. So an okay, if we go to all, you can see more. So anything light blue. Whoops, didn't mean to go out, I apologize. Was given via this battle. So not bad, right? All right. So you do get a lot. However, is it matched or tied in some way to how enemies die? That's the first question people ask. Do you get more weapons as enemies die? I do not know if you get more weapons, and no one's going to know until these guys talk about how they end up doing the spawning for loot. However, I can say this. In many of the challenge rooms, you are not alone. You are with other people. These challenge rooms are not, I think, what a lot of people think many challenge rooms are going to be, which is one guy just doing, the entire challenge room by himself. There are times where you're in a team, and your actual characters can kill your opponents. And so is it possible that by them doing it, you might be getting less? It might be possible, because I'm going to tell you right now, I've done challenge rooms where it's me and challenge rooms that are mimics of the later levels where you do team battles, and I got a lot less for the same score. Now, what does that mean? No one will know until they actually release the data on how spawning is and loot is done. But regardless, it's something to be aware of. So again, the duplicate names don't matter. It may matter a little bit on how you kill your enemies, and it certainly seems to matter on what rank you get. A rank A, B, or C seems to do less than a rank S. So we're going to jump in here. Now, can you synthesize a melee and a ranged weapon? Yes, you can. It doesn't seem to offer any changes or negatives whatsoever. The only negative that seems to keep cropping up, and again, one of the reasons why we won't know for sure is because some of this stuff is done on a bar and some stuff is done by numbers. And so it can be a little bit hedgy on exactly what's occurring. But it certainly does appear that if you try to mix fire and ice, that may slightly impact the overall power of the weapon that you end up with. Makes sense, right? So that's something I think everybody can understand. So let's look at 2 ways of doing an upgrade. Let's look at ranged here because I have less of those. Let's take the level 5 bolt sniper rifle. Okay, it uses energon. That's its attack power. Its rank is C, and it's got 1 skill. Focus time is at level 2. Now, if that said focus time at level 2, and I have another weapon that says focus time level 1, what does that mean? It actually stacks. That level 2 doesn't mean like plus 20 and the level 10 if it's or level 1 if it's plus 10 goes away. They do appear to stack, just so you know. So we have a bolt sniper rifle, fairly okay weapon. We're going to go ahead and select that as the base weapon, and then you go down and you have different types of weapons that you can pick. Now, because there's so many different choices. For example, this cryo spread shot's level 3. It's a rank C. It's got no skills, and that's its attack power. I could get another cryo spread shot, rank C, that no skills, just like this one, or 1 skill opening, and have a completely different attack power. So again, that's why it's sort of difficult to tell if duplicate elements or elements that are exactly opposite one another do seem to affect it. But if it does, it's to such a small amount, maybe 5 to 10 total points. So let's go with the cryo spread shot. Now this character cannot be equipped by Grimlock. Always remember that. So the sniper rifles can't be used by him because of his little short Tyrannosaurus arms. But what this does show is that it goes up. The yellow bar shows it goes up in level, and it shows the little bit that it's gone up in various other places. Total attack power is 513. When it started, is 513. That's why you have to be careful, because this looks like it goes up, but it doesn't. It's not going up unless you see yellow. So we'll go out of here. And let's do this, and let's see if using this does anything. Okay, if you look very closely, you can see a little yellow smidge at total attack power, energon, lightning, max energy, nothing on range, rate of fire, shot speed, or recoil, obviously. Now, the reason why that's super important is because you can end up seeing that level increase going up and think, oh, this level's being or this weapon is being upgraded. It isn't. It's just going up in level. You want to keep very close attention to your total attack power and all that stuff. And the reason why is by going up in level, that doesn't do half as much, a millionth as much as actually going up in these points. And you can end up technically going up in level too high and sort of being stuck with a weapon that doesn't do very much. Of course, you always have your skills, your attack up, your focus duration. So we'll jump out of here. So let's go with let's do some lower level synthesis. The reason why, your base weapon is always what the cost ties into. So if I pick a level 1 weapon and upgrade it with a level 10 weapon, it will be less expensive than a level 10 weapon, even with a level 1 item. So you have to really watch that level. Like I said, it's super important that you're getting your due worth out of everything. So let's go with these lightning gloves. Actually, let's see if I can show you guys a skill mismatch. Okay, here we go. Bumblebee's gloves has no skill opening. Let's see what happens when we take that and merge it with twin thermal swords. Have 3 openings and a skill. You lose it. Very, very important. Now, it went up in level, and it gained 30 points of total attack power, but it in no way, shape, or form adjusted anything else, and you lost those skills. You have to be very careful that the weapon that you're upgrading has either the skills you want, or you do not upgrade it unless you're very aware that you could end up losing skills. And it does happen. You'll get an item that has 3 or 4 skills and it's lower level. You get this higher level item that does a boatload more damage, but it's only got 1 skill opening, and that can be a stone cold bitch. So let's do something like this. Lightning sword, and we'll go with the twin thermal swords, okay? They've got an attack speed of 1, and they have 2 extra openings. But I only get the 1, okay? So just be very, very aware of that. You do get to pick at least, but that's it. And again, you went from a weapon, let's see, you went from a weapon that can only, you're going to upgrade a weapon that can only be used by 2 people, so you got to be aware of that. That's one of the reasons why, even though the lightning hammers do a ton of damage, I'm actually not a huge fan of them. Now, again, ranged and Malay does nothing. No problems there. Multiple names, no problems there. Doesn't seem to make any effect. Let's show you the cost. Burn grenade launcher, okay? And bolt sniper, that's 500. But if you go bolt sniper and burn grenade launcher, it's 1,300. So again, as levels go up, they end up costing more. So don't just raise the level of a weapon. Always make sure you get a tangible result from it. So what we're going to do here is, let's see what burn grenade would do. It would do, frankly, very little. Let's go with a low level burn sniper rifle and a super high level bolt sniper rifle. There we go. So, went up in total attack power. It went up a bunch of levels. We'll go ahead and synthesize that. Again, can't be equipped by Grimlock. All right. Let's see. Let's go with, now we have the burn sniper. Let's go with the freeze sniper rifle. Cannot level further. Okay. Whoops. Okay, so that'll be our base weapon. Go here. Let's see what we get. Okay. So you still go up 1 level. You're at level 5, which, watch this, cannot be leveled further. That's because if you noticed, the extra experience didn't create another bar when I was synthesizing. It basically stopped at level 5. Why is that important? Because as you're sitting right now, there isn't a lot more you can do with this. You can do more, but if you notice, it doesn't do much at all. For example, let's go with Burn Sniper Rifle as the base weapon, 462, and Lightning Hammer. So you go up a little bit in total attack power and energy, but you don't get anything else. You're not going to get any more level ups, which actually do allow you to add things. It's going to, at least it doesn't cost a ton. But we'll go ahead and do it. This level will always stay at 5, though. Okay, so that's important to remember. Let's see, what else is there to cover here? There's not much else. You just have to be very aware of what you're doing and how you're going about it. Also, personally, for me, what I've found is it's best to have weapons that everybody can use versus one. Now, the hammer is great for Grimlock, but what I do is I make sure I don't have more than one. If I am going to use Grimlock and I am going to have him with a hammer, I'll just have one hammer as a total. But for example, a lot of times I'll just use a sword, for one specific sword for everybody. Before each match, you're able to go in here and equip your character with whatever you want to do, so there isn't a problem there. And that saves you some money. Now, why is that important? Well, let's go down to tech and I'll show you. So tech is basically creating your own Dinobot upgrades. The problem is, not only is it expensive as hell technically, it's also a uniquely timed QTE. So this, as you can see, we got lucky. There's a randomness to the QTE, which blew me away. The oranges are going to be your legendary or your best. However, you can botch these by hitting the thin blue lines, dark blue lines. That can actually cause an issue. Additionally, the QTE line moves at a different speed depending on the size and width of those lines. So depending on how you put things together, which QTE you choose, this one or the more advanced one, which is a little bit harder and a little bit faster, you can end up having a very hard to do QTE. It's not typical QTEs where, it just sort of... this is, I guess, I would say is more like a golf game, except with multiple hitting pitches. Legendary. All right, so we got Ally Heal plus 10%. Legendary, technically. We don't want to spend all this money because I want to show you guys some of the other stuff. So every character has a specific number of tech slots they can fill. He's only got one. We'll just leave that where it is. Now, does tech matter? Is tech a big bonus? Tech's an awesome bonus, guys, and here's why. Because depending on the weapon upgrades, remember, the weapons are technically random, and even their upgrades as a whole, even one different weapon that you may have in your inventory compared to me means that when you synthesize, you're going to get different results. If you use that plus this equipped tech area, or equipped tech items, you can get some very, very cool mixtures of different stuff. And that does matter. For example, Ally Heal. Well, do you need that in the single player level? Maybe not. So maybe you turn it off or maybe you change it out to the energy recovery up when you go into those levels. And the thing is, you will have different ones than I do. So there's a really awesome amount of customization here. Now, we're going to go to status. Status is where you spend cash on your upgrades to your character. And this is why I said money is so important. You need to watch out you don't spend all of it on your CPU upgrades, because that's easy to do. You can see those CPU upgrades and you can say, you know what, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make 4 or 5 QTE CPU upgrades and hope that I get legendary each time. Here's the problem. They can only be used in particular slots, and some characters have 1, some have 3, and you can botch the damn thing. And you don't know what they're going to be. At least here you do. However, it moves up slow. Let me show you. It's $100 for that. Okay, if you watch the little line, that's how much it moves up. It doesn't move up very, very much at all. And the difference between level 15 move up and level 13 is nothing. So if I hold this down, I didn't even go up 1 dot for $1,000. So 1 is guaranteed. That's this one. Your status, you can go in there, you can spend your cash, you know what your upgrades are going to be. Or you can go to tech, which is more of a crapshoot, or you can go to weapons and synthesize. So there's a lot of choices that you may have. Now let's go into the lab, because I want to cover a couple things. First of all, of course you can sell stuff. Now you can't sell your moves, even though you can buy them. That makes total sense. But you can get some okay money for some of your weapons. Now, I say okay for a reason. You see this Shockwave Blaster, level 8, 3 skills. Again, those skills do actually stack. So a level 1 recoil and a level 3 recoil stack. However, when you go to buy, stuff is brutally expensive. So you have to be very careful just how you want to end up spending your cash. A level B, or a rank B level 3 is 75,000 credits. That is a tremendous amount, which means a lot of grinding. So what I like to do is take whatever I can from the field and upgrade that. I've only bought in this entire time maybe 4 total weapons from this list. Everything else has been worth grinding for, because once you get this weapon, you're probably going to want to stick with it for a long time, and I haven't really found any that I'm jumping at. Now, you also have the ability to buy items. This is actually sort of important because they get sold out, as you can see. You can see that I bought all of them. That's pretty crazy because it basically really does adjust the way you play your game depending on difficulties. And I think that's really cool, but it's something that people should be aware of when they jump into it. You have things like auto repair kits, which is just instant resurrection right there on the field. Super useful. I've only got 1 left, unfortunately. You got your power boosters, which increases your attack. Your hard coat by 100, which increases your defense. One of the things I like is, even though the repair kits have a small and large pack, and so do energy for returning energy to your weapons, the hard coat and power booster are static. 100% increase, no worries. That's awesome. It allows the player to sort of just decide, hey, I want to turn this on and use it and not worry. You also have the experience scanner. This increases your experience by 30% from defeated enemies, 30% for credits here, and the item scanner, your drop rate is 30. Now, what do I want versus everything else? Well, what I have found is money. Money is used on everything in this game, and though the item scanners seem worthwhile, selling the item scanners and buying the credit scanner or even the EXP scanner is a better overall, I guess I would say, investment than getting an item scanner, because yeah, you get more items, but they don't sell for very much, as you've noticed. And in the end, you lose money on that sell-buy transaction versus just getting the credits and worry about it later. Also, the credits can be used for experience, and the credits can be used to make the CPU updates. So in the end, I have found it is much more useful to take those credit scanners. And the ones I've bought, I've sold back, which raises my limit. Same thing can happen here. If you find these and sell them back, this will increase, and they won't be sold out anymore. So anyway, that's about it for the system. There's a lot going on. The synthesis is great, guys. It's like Diablo loot. Great stuff occurs there. I love that overall ability and feeling that if you play Wheeljack and I play Wheeljack, depending on what tech I have created and the weapons that I've dropped, we're going to have characters that play subtly different. Now, will they play completely different? No, because the adjustments are never that much. And maybe in the amount of damage they do. But the special skills may not, do that much, but they will play subtly different, whether they attack quicker or they just do a little bit more hit, or again you have something like healing allies or damaging enemies. So anyway, that's it. There's a lot of stuff to look at in the weapons and the tech and the status and the lab. It's something that you should really be careful with, because again, there's no going back. And money drops, but it doesn't drop at such a high level that you won't find yourself grinding if you make a couple mistakes, which, for example, I indeed did. And last but not least, again on the weapons, always verify that whatever you're upgrading can be used by the maximum amount of people, unless you absolutely need a weapon for, say, Grimlock. So anyway, that's it for me. Really fun game. I enjoy a lot of the stuff that goes on in here. I really love the loot and the synthesis. Excellent overall combination of gameplay there. So anyway, that's it for me. I hope you liked the video. If you did, hit thumbs up. If you didn't, hit thumbs down. And as always, peace out.